Ahoy there! We work on Spud 2 today. I guess this is a group shot. Here's the family. There's one car over here you guys haven't seen yet. It's an 87 SR5, and we'll talk about that when I get time to actually get to it. A little bit of special stuff going on under the hood there, but we're gonna worry about that later. Right now, we're gonna get Spud 2 in the garage. We're gonna get working on that. I'm gonna put a new gas tank in it today, do an oil change, do some maintenance, just kind of give everything a once over, see what all it needs, because I pretty much just kind of got it running and got her home. I do want to put a factory carb back on it. It's got the Weber from Stomper on it right now, and it's fine. It runs good, and it'll do fine for now, but the OEM carb just starts, runs, drives so much smoother. So that's eventually going to happen, but I need to check this thing over and see what all it needs, because it's probably going to need a lot. I know the driver's side CV shaft is really bad. Maybe we'll get a video of that pulling in the garage and you can hear it. We got her on the ramps right now. I do know this thing needs a, oh boy. Well, it's on ramps, but not very good. That's sketch. Yeah, it's way too sketch. All right, I'm gonna redo this. Hold on. All right, well, here she is, Spud 2. A couple of things I do know offhand that it does need. This trim needs to get put on a little bit better. It actually wasn't on there. I kind of quick threw it on before a rainstorm. I gotta put the metal clips in there. This interior door panel is very loose. It needs some clips and stuff as well. Hey, there's a little sticker back here. A little McGeorge Toyota in Richmond, Virginia. Sucks these are all wore off. You can't see them anymore, but oh well. This window is off track badly. It's kind of just, oh, yep, there, now it's gone. I probably should have done that, but oh well. So yeah, I'm gonna pop this door panel apart, put some metal clips behind this thing, get this trim panel all in there better. Do an oil change, check the trans fluid, clean this interior out because it's a little bit dirty. By a little bit dirty, I mean it's pretty dirty. I got some tires and stuff back here. This is actually a 2-speaker car, which is new to me, but whoa, oh boy, woof, you're getting attacked. Oh, I went out and bought oil and I had oil. That's unfortunate. So yeah, I got to change the gas tank in this thing because the gas tank's a bit leaky. I do want to get the original car back in here at some point in time soon. Don't know when I'm going to do that yet, but let's see what else we got. I got a lot of crap in here I got to clean out yet. Oh, wiper blades, and hey, that's where that went. Not much left of it though. That's all broken. That stinks. Might have broken on the way home. Oh, there's floor mats in here. I didn't realize that either. So probably do some shocks in the front and the rear because, oh my goodness, I did this again. Are you kidding me? What is happening? How did I do that? All right, I got to get this thing back on ramps properly a third time. Goodness. Moment of truth. Hey, well, it's still raised up a little bit, but maybe time I just throw these ramps away. These will probably get a little bit deformed. Oh, that's embarrassing. She needs mud flaps too. That's the thing I'm gonna have to get sometime soon, is some mud flaps for this thing. This hose doesn't feel bad, but this hose down here, it's really weak, like really thin. Feels like it's about to burst, so might knock that out today as well. It also doesn't have a power steering belt. I'm not really sure why. It is bone dry in here, so there's a good chance the rack probably leaks, and that's why the belt's been yeeted. But maybe we'll toss some fluid in it and find out. Overflow container still full. It needs a bath underneath here in the worst way. So maybe I'll do that today too yet. It kind of depends on time. I do got to connect the hose to here. I've just kind of slapped the pressure regulator on the bottom of this for now, just to kind of get it going. But like I said, I do want to convert to the factory carb again, get all that stuff working. So in time we'll get there, but it's not quite a priority at this exact moment. So, all right. All right, well, doing a once-over on this thing. I noticed something that's a little abnormal. Actually, hold on. Before I get to that, I mentioned the lower radiator hose, and I looked in the back. There's a radiator hose. Look at that. A freaking OEM Toyota radiator hose. I wish I could find a date on this sticker, but there is none. But this thing's probably pretty old. Well, I'm going to use it because it feels better than the one that's in it. Oh, check this out. Crawling underneath here. See that? This is an OEM muffler. Whether it's the original of the car or not, I don't know. I would imagine at only 128,000, it's likely the original, but that's wild. A little bit of oil leakage going on. You probably can't really see because there's a lot of crap going on, but look at that. Sticker from Toyota on the heat shield. And let's see. Yeah, there's leaks going on in this trans or an engine oil leak. I don't really know which one for sure yet, but I'm probably going to pull this crossover tube off because the catalytic converter was borrowed. I do got to snug these bolts up. They are a little bit loose. I just kind of did this with a ratchet, and it's not as tight as it could be, so I'll probably hit it with my gun real quick, and I got to get this off of here before it falls off. But yeah, underneath this thing is pretty solid. There's a spot of surface rust right there. There's a little hole right here where the one drain is, and a hole over there, and then a little bit of surface rust going on right there. But this window was down for a long time. It's very likely that. Looks like it needs control arm bushings. Let's see. I know it for sure needs a passenger CV or driver's side CV shaft. I don't think I have a driver's side. I have a passenger one that's a spare, but I got CVs on order. There's a little bit of a spot right there in the body that's got kind of a thing going on, but all in all, this car's in really good shape. Some pinch weld stuff because people like to jack up from right here, even though they could jack up from like literally right here and it'll handle it no problem, but it's whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else really super exciting to point out. This back bumper's a bit rotted, so I'm going to swap this bumper out with one from another car. I got a few nicer bumpers in this one, so cool, and the engine oil draining, so time to drop off a gas tank. I did do this in a video on the Dakar Rally clone car. Should be an instructional for that on that video if you guys are curious how to pull it, but they're really simple. Two extremely long 14 millimeters hold this tank up, and then there's a pickup sending unit. And a couple of rubber lines. We're gonna try to get out of there before they break anything. Looks like someone attempted some patchwork on the top of this tank at one point in time, and it may have held up for a little while, but not enough. So I'm gonna do this outside of the garage. I don't get as much dirt in there as I need to. So, this one's pretty clean. This pickup is clean. This one has no filter. This one is really rusty. This one's not very rusty. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, so I'm going to use that one, the one from this tank for the like pickup tube. It's got a good filter on it, and it's in better shape. That one doesn't have a filter at all. But here's inside of the original tank. I don't know how well this will pick up. You can kind of see the bottom. There's still a little bit of sediment in there. This is the tank from Stomper. I mean, you can look in there and see it's like basically spotless. So this tank is salvageable. I will try to actually repair it. Maybe we'll make a video on that. I do have a welder now, which I gotta get it very, very clean and very not gassy to actually weld on that. But again, that's something we can probably knock out sometime. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on there, bolt it down. I should change these pickup tubes because this one's a lot better shape than that one, but I'm worried I'm gonna break bolts because those look really crusty. I'll probably give it a good rinse. Maybe coat it with a quick layer of paint just to keep it from getting rusty, and then I'll go ahead and throw it back underneath the car. Okay, well, this is all bolted down and snugged. I accidentally broke this off like an idiot, which it was probably doomed to be broken anyway soon. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim this off a little bit. I don't really want to leave this open, and I plan on running a factory carb anyway, which will need the return line working. And then when I pulled this tank out, I didn't disconnect that, so I got to pull the connector off that one, slap it on here. So kind of a bummer I screwed up, but you know, it is what it is. I think I'm gonna have to actually cut this line a little bit further back because that seems to be attached. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit like a brake line cutter underneath there. Yeah, you can see that it's all like one piece. I don't know how well I'll get a line to slip over that, and I don't really want to chance it. I'll just cut it back there, reopen the line up really carefully with that little screwdriver thingy I have right there, throw a clamp on it like I did this one, and I think it'll be okay. Okay, bend that up a little. There we go, back open again. This little thing to kind of straighten it out. It's just a return line. And when I drive, we use all the gas. Hell yeah, brother. This is probably way too long, but we can adjust it later. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So, last thing I had to do is get this connector out of here. So, as a reference for myself, white with a black tracer is the far right. A yellow with a green tracer is the center, and yellow with a green red tracer is the far left. So I seem to be prying in the spot that would need to come off. Yep. Okay, one down, two to go. Pry on the center one and the inside right there. There's another one. And there's the last one. All right, then we're gonna put this back on. White is the right one. Green in there is the middle. And that one is the one on the left. There we go. Okay, that should be everything. Let's go ahead and throw this in the car, I guess. Through the power of internet magic, we have a gas tank. Wow! New tank is installed. Well, used tank is installed. I also did some shocks in the rear. There's a very good chance that these shocks are the originals. Can't really see any stampings on them. I mean, I'm sure I could with a little bit more effort, but I don't care enough. So, probably the original shocks. This will ride a lot nicer in the rear. Eventually, I got to do the fronts, but that'll be a project for later because I've already done the fronts now a couple of times on my other car, literally yesterday and today. So, check this out. Well, I was waiting for my battery to charge. I decided to pop this door out. Look at all these leaves down here. This is just piles and piles and piles of leaves. So we're gonna have to shop back this out of here in a little bit. This regulator rolls up nicely, surprisingly, but I do gotta pull it out and glue it to the window better. All right, well, a little bit of an update time. I had someone stop by, was doing a little bit of work and just kind of talking. So here's where I'm at. Get the grill swapped out with another grill that had a bit better looking of a logo. I just think that one looks a little bit nicer. Got the radiator out of it. This is the old Radiator fan. I don't know if you can hear that, but that motor's grinding. So it actually blew the fuse. I changed it out. It didn't work. So changed the relay. That didn't fix it again. So then I finally looked at the radiator fuse, and the fuse was blown. So it was kind of an easy fix, but it would have just reblown anyways because that radiator fan is just trash. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the new radiator back in it. It is leaking coolant right out of this little fitting right there, which is super annoying. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pull this housing off of here, change those water neck gasket O-rings things. Then we should be about ready to freaking kidding me and drive her out of here. Oh. Please don't break. That's my only concern. So if it breaks, I have to change this whole water pump housing to get it out. Oh boy. Wow, I was holding in a lot of freaking coolant. Yeah, look at how dirty this thing is. It is gross. There's little O-rings on the end right here, and they tend to get really dry, especially after 40 years. So let's see if I can get this out. Oof. Look at that. Just disintegrating. Do the other side now. See how this one looks. Yep, same thing. Just disintegrated. That gives us roughly a size of what I'll need though. Well, while the RTV dries, I should probably go ahead and throw some oil on it because I haven't done that yet. I do have a new filter on it. And I know I tightened the drain plug back up because I added a little gasket to the drain plug. Gonna run some good old Rotella. It's pretty much what I run in all my engines. It's cheap and good. All right, looking inside this door, this window was down for like 10, 12 years, and it's collected a few things. I imagine the interior was probably about the same. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this out. I'm gonna kind of lube everything up. I gotta change this window track, put another window in it. That way I don't have to re-glue everything together. Change the seal all out of here. Put some new clips in there and put this door panel back on. And that should do the job for now. I'm planning on tinting these windows at some point in time, so maybe when it's apart, I'll do a better job cleaning. I don't know. We'll see how it goes when I get to that point. But for now, let's vacuum this crap out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull the window off this track. I'm going to pull this bolt out and that bolt out, which do not appear to be original bolts. So I will probably put some original bolts in here. And then once I get this window off, I'm gonna put another window in there. We'll put the seal back in, we'll grease everything up, spray everything down with some penetrating oil so it's well lubed. And in theory, should last longer. So I guess let's get it ripped apart. My fix to get it home was to RTV it. It obviously wasn't the best RTV job. It was more of just slap it on before going to bed. And then the next day, roll it down a little bit and milk her home. And it did work. Over here to my bolt stash. I think it's usually about like these right here. I think it's gonna be slightly longer ones. I mean, slightly shorter ones. And we'll try these two. These should work. Time for the window seal. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this in here. Probably gonna have to spray this down and grease this up too. But for now, let's just get it in place. I'm putting this in backwards, I think. I am. Okay, now let's put this thing in. Oh yeah, that's way better. It's not falling off. Look at that. All right, now I gotta lube this seal all up a little bit. I should really be using silicone grease, not like white lithium from Harbor Freight, but you know, this is what I have on hand, so it's what we're gonna use. Oh boy, this is like no pressure. Might be because it's a little bit cold, but this is dead. This was what I was gonna use because it's what I had, but now it's not at all. Dang it. All right, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and use some Motor Coat all-purpose spray. This stuff is really expensive to be using for this, but it actually sprays. I don't have anything else at the moment, so just spray up and down these seals right here. Let it kind of run down. I'll roll it up and down a bunch of times. And that should work the lube in the seals a little bit. Now, a bunch of these clips were broken. They do sell these clips on eBay if you ever wanted to find them. They're just search Toyota door clip, and then you should see a picture of these eventually. They are pretty inexpensive. I want to say like a kit of 50 of them was only like $7, and 50 of them is probably enough to do every single door in these cars if you had them broken. I just took these off of a parts car. Oh, drop that one. That's great. Because I'm Dutch and I don't want to spend more money than I have to on literally anything. All right, slide this down. Oops. Slide that on top of there. Looks like it's on pretty good. And last but not least, actually not quite last yet, but this. And we're done. Obviously I didn't do everything, and it looks like I cracked this at some point in time today, which is unfortunate, but it may have been cracked before and I didn't really notice it. But obviously I didn't quite do everything exactly correctly, as in the sense that I didn't put this little plastic barrier in here or the little cups behind the little window crank. So it will be a little bit drafty, but these windows are going to be coming back out when this car's at Seth's house for a window tint job. So I figured there's no real point in doing it correctly because I'm just going to do it later. And for this cheap plastic stuff, I have some thicker stuff that I use for taping up windows in houses, since I have an old house with drafty windows. I think that'll be better suited for all this because it's a lot thicker. So, yep, I'm pretty stoked. We're almost back to daily driver status. I did idle it for like maybe 10 minutes after I ran it yesterday and parked it over this piece of cardboard. You can see it drip. So She's a little drippy, and if you look underneath there, there's a drip right there, and I think there's another drip that I saw earlier somewhere else. So she's probably gonna need some gaskets soon, but that'll be probably the next video. Maybe I got a couple other things coming on the tube for this whole thing yet. Not 100% positive, but it definitely needs a distributor. Probably cam and crank seals. The timing belt looks good, but who knows how nice it actually is. Let's buy a lot of other little gaskets and seals and stuff it needs. So we'll knock some stuff out at some point in time soon, but. Well, as you can hear, the exhaust has a little bit of a leak. The pipe I threw on it wasn't quite the right size. It's 2 1/8. I needed 2-inch OD to 2-inch OD to go on there. So it was just kind of a quick, like, get a pipe to get it home so it's not blowing my brains out with super loud noises on the drive back. So, oh man, got a ton of work left to do on this thing yet. We got front springs. The interior needs a ton of love. There's a bunch of oil leaks on there I gotta fix on the engine yet. So we'll get that all done in time though. I'm gonna probably wrap it up here for the day, go get some dinner. I haven't really eaten yet today, so really appreciate you guys watching. If you got any questions, anything you specifically like to see, drop a note in the word spot, and that's all for me today. Catch you guys later. Adios.